You know that feeling when you sit down at the end of the day and your home just looks tired, like it's been lived in hard and nobody ever came back to tidy it. The sink has dried toothpaste on it. There's a coat draped over the back of a chair that's been there for 3 days. The throw pillows are somewhere on the floor. The kitchen counter has this film of the day on it. Crumbs, a coffee ring, something you don't want to identify. And you think, I need to do a whole clean, a proper one, top to bottom, this weekend maybe, or next weekend, when things settle down. Here's the thing, you're not behind, you're not lazy, you're not failing at your home. You're just missing 15 habits that each take under a minute. And that used to be completely automatic. Women in the 1950s were not running around doing 5-hour cleaning sessions every Saturday morning. That is a myth, and it has done a lot of damage. What they actually did was weave dozens of tiny habits into the natural movement of their day. Habits so small they barely registered as effort at all. They wiped the sink while they were already standing at the sink. They hung the coat when they walked through the door because the door was right there. They fluffed the cushions as they left the living room because they were already moving. They cleared the table before bed, not because they were disciplined superwomen with unlimited energy, but because doing it immediately cost less mental energy than thinking about it later. These weren't chores slotted into a schedule. They weren't tasks on a list. They were automatic. They were stitched into the movement of the day so tightly that not doing them would have felt strange. And somewhere between then and now, we lost them. We started treating the home like something you fix in bulk, one big clean, one big tidy, instead of something you maintain in tiny, constant, almost invisible ways. That's what today is about, getting those habits back. The single idea that underpins every one of these habits is this: do it now while you're already there. Don't wipe the sink later. You are at the sink. Don't hang the coat tomorrow morning. You are at the door. Don't clear the counter after dinner. You are already in the kitchen. The motion is already happening. All you are doing is adding 3 seconds to something you were already doing. The 1950s homemaker did not have a complicated system. She had a principle. Move through your home and leave it better than you found it. Every time, every room, every pass. I'm going to give you 15 habits. Every single one takes under a minute. Several take 15 seconds or less. For each one, I'll tell you what it is, why it worked then, and exactly when to slot it into your day so it costs you no extra time at all. By the time this video ends, you will have already thought of 3 you can start today. Not this weekend, not when things calm down. Today, in the next hour, probably. So let's go. These first 8 habits live in the first half of your day. In the morning routine, in the way you move through rooms, in the small moments between one thing and the next. None of them require you to stop what you're doing. None of them ask for extra time. They attach to movement you're already making. Start here. This is where the home is either set up for the day or quietly abandoned to drift. Number 1. Make the bed before breakfast. This one is not about aesthetics. It is not about having a Pinterest bedroom or impressing anyone who walks past your door. It is about psychology. A made bed signals that the day has started. Properly started with intention. The bedroom looks composed. The largest surface in the most personal room of your home is no longer a mess. And something about that single act carries into everything that follows. You made one decision well before breakfast. That matters more than it should, and yet it absolutely does. The 1950s homemaker made the bed first thing, before the kettle boiled, before the children were called down. It took 3 minutes. It cost nothing. And the bedroom held itself together for the rest of the day without needing another thought. 3 minutes. Do it before you go downstairs. Number 2. Wipe the sink the moment you're done using it. Toothpaste dries into something close to cement if you leave it. A water splash left on a mirror becomes a smear you need a cloth and some effort to shift. But catch it in the moment, 30 seconds after it happened, and it comes off with one wipe. Keep a small cloth folded beside the bathroom sink. Every time you use the sink, you give it a 10-second wipe before you leave. Not a scrub, not a clean, a wipe. The basin stays clear. The mirror stays clear. The bathroom never builds up into something that needs a dedicated session to fix because it never gets the chance. This is the habit that, more than almost any other, separates a bathroom that always looks presentable from one that doesn't. 10 seconds, every single use. Number 3. Hang the coat, never the chair. The chair of doom is a modern invention. It does not exist in a home that runs on 1950s habits, because there is no version of events in which the coat goes anywhere except the hook. You walk through the door, you take off your coat, you hang it. That is the whole sequence. It takes 5 seconds and it is finished. The hallway stays clear. The chair in the bedroom stays a chair. The coat is where it belongs, which means you know where it is tomorrow morning when you need it. The reason we drape coats over chairs is because we tell ourselves we might go out again, or we're tired, or we'll do it in a minute. The 1950s homemaker did not negotiate with herself at the door. She hung the coat. The negotiation never even started. 5 seconds, hook it. Number 4. Put shoes away immediately on entry. 1 pair of shoes left by the door becomes 2. 2 becomes 4. 2 pairs of shoes soon become 4. 4 becomes a tripping hazard by the door, and a visual noise that greets you every time you walk into your own home. Shoes off at the door, shoes into the rack or the cupboard or wherever they live, every single time. It is 15 seconds, it is not a hardship, and it means the hallway, the first thing you see when you walk in, is always clear, always calm, always a version of the home you actually want to live in. The entry of the home sets the tone for everything past it. Keep it clear and you arrive home every day to something that feels ordered, even if the rest of the day was not. Number 5. Never leave a room empty-handed. This is the backbone of the entire system. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. The rule is simple. Whenever you get up and move from one room to another, you carry something with you that belongs where you're going. A glass back to the kitchen, a book back to the bedroom, a pair of scissors back to the drawer in the hall. 1 item, every trip, no extra time because you are already moving. You are already getting up. You are already crossing the room. You are already passing through the door. The item cost you nothing except the decision to pick it up. The 1950s homemaker called this good sense. It was not a habit she had to remind herself of. It was simply the way a person moved through their home. You don't walk through a room and leave it worse than you found it. You take something with you. Always. Reinstate this one habit and watch your surfaces, tables, and floors quietly empty themselves across the day without a single dedicated tidy-up. Clutter does not build because it never gets the chance to settle. Number 6. Fluff the cushions as you leave a room. 4 seconds. That is what this takes. You stand up from the sofa, you give the cushions a press and a pat, and you leave the room. The difference between a living room that looks cared for and one that looks abandoned is almost always the cushions. Flat, dented, sideways cushions make a whole room read as neglected, even if everything else is in order. Plumped cushions make a room look like someone lives there with intention. You are already standing. You are already leaving. The cushions take 4 seconds and the room holds itself for hours. Number 7. The doorway reset. Before you leave any room, pause at the doorway for 3 seconds and look back. Not a deep scan, just a glance. Is there anything obviously out of place? Something that takes 10 seconds to fix right now? If yes, fix it now. If no, carry on. This habit is the one that catches everything the other habits miss. The glass left on the side table, the blanket pooled on the floor, the book left open, face down, on the arm of the chair. 3 seconds at the door and those things get handled in the moment, instead of accumulating into the background noise of a home that always feels slightly behind. The doorway reset is not a chore. It is a half-second audit that costs almost nothing and prevents the slow drift that turns tidy into chaos between Monday and Friday without anyone meaning it to. Number 8. Wipe down the kitchen counter after every use. Not a deep clean, not a full kitchen wipe down. A 2-minute pass over the counter after you've used it. The kettle boils, you wipe the counter beside it. The toast is done, you wipe the crumbs. You finish making lunch, you wipe the surface you worked on. Each time takes 90 seconds at most. And the kitchen never reaches the point where the counter needs 20 minutes of scrubbing to come back to clean. The 1950s homemaker understood that kitchens deteriorate in layers. Each use adds a film, grease, crumbs, splashes, and if you let those layers build, you are eventually cleaning not 1 day's mess but 4 days' worth of compressed mess, which is a completely different job. Catch it at the layer, every time. 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. The kitchen stays presentable without effort, because the effort is distributed so finely across the day that it barely registers. Some of you are watching this and thinking, I used to do some of these. You did, and you can again, not as a grand project, not as a lifestyle overhaul, just as a quiet reinstatement of things that once made your home feel easier to live in. These 8 habits, done consistently, do not produce a perfect home. They produce a home that holds, a home that doesn't slide, a home you don't have to dread coming back to or feel guilty walking away from. That is enough. That is the point. 8 down, 7 to go. The morning habits set the home up. These ones protect it. The afternoon and evening are where the home is most vulnerable, where the day lands, where things get put down and not picked back up, where surfaces that were clear at 9 in the morning have somehow accumulated an entire life's worth of objects by 7 at night. These 7 habits are the ones that close the day properly. They are slower, slightly more deliberate, and they make tomorrow morning something you can walk into without flinching. Number 9. Rinse dishes immediately. Never let them sit. A rinsed plate takes 5 seconds. A plate that has been sitting since lunch with dried egg or pasta sauce on it takes 3 minutes of soaking and scrubbing and patience you do not have at the end of the day. The maths are not complicated. Rinse it now. 5 seconds. Leave it. 3 minutes later, plus the low-level guilt of it sitting there in your eye line every time you walk into the kitchen. The 1950s homemaker did not have a dishwasher built on procrastination. She rinsed the dish the moment it left the table. The sink stayed clear. The kitchen stayed workable. Dinner could be made in a clean space because lunch had been dealt with immediately. This habit is not about being fastidious. It is about not making more work for yourself than necessary. Rinse it. Now, while you're holding it. Number 10. Put cleaning products back immediately after use. The spray bottle left on the bathroom counter becomes furniture. You stop seeing it after 2 days. It just lives there, among your things, taking up space, and making the room look like a cleaning cupboard rather than a bathroom. Every cleaning product goes back under the sink, or wherever it lives, before you leave the room. Not after you've finished with the whole bathroom, not when you do a bigger tidy, immediately, the moment you are done with it. This taking 10 seconds, it is worth it. It keeps your bathroom surfaces clear, and it means that when you walk into your bathroom, you see your bathroom, not evidence of the fact that you cleaned it sometime recently and didn't quite finish. Number 11. The afternoon table reset. At some point in the mid-afternoon, around 4 o'clock is natural. The dining table needs a reset before the evening begins. Across the day, the table collects. Post that came in the morning, a bag put down at lunch, a child's homework, someone's phone charger, a cup that migrated from the kitchen. None of these things belong there, and all of them were put there with the silent promise of being dealt with later. 4 o'clock is later, the time for clearing. Clear the table and restore the order. Everything back to where it belongs, mail to the mail spot. Take the bags back to the hall, out of the way, and return the cups to the kitchen where they belong. 5 minutes at most to restore order. The table is now a table again, not a dumping ground, and dinner happens in a room that feels composed rather than chaotic. The 1950s homemaker set the table for dinner properly, cloth, crockery, the works, and that ritual demanded a clear surface to begin with. Even without the full table setting, the principle holds. The dining space should be ready for its purpose by the time the evening starts. Number 12. Check tomorrow's clothes tonight. 3 minutes tonight saves 15 minutes of mounting panic tomorrow morning. Before bed, decide what you are wearing. Check that it is clean, uncrumpled, where you think it is. Lay it out or hang it on the back of the chair. The chair is allowed to hold tomorrow's clothes, just not yesterday's coat. This is its one legitimate use. The 1950s homemaker treated the morning as something you manufacture the evening before. A calm morning does not happen accidentally. It is built the night before, in small acts of preparation that take almost no time and cost almost no energy. Because you are not rushing, not running late, not trying to find the iron at 7:15 in the morning. 3 minutes. Decide tonight. The morning is a different experience. Number 13. The before bed table clear. This is the most powerful habit in the entire video. It sounds almost insultingly simple. And then you do it consistently for 2 weeks and you understand why the 1950s homemaker never went to bed without doing it. Every night, before you go to sleep, you clear every flat surface in the main living areas. The coffee table, the dining table, the kitchen island if you have one. Not deep cleaned, not reorganized, not sorted, just cleared of the day's debris. Cups back to the kitchen, books back to where books live, the remote in its place, bags back in the hall. Anything that landed on a surface during the day and does not belong there, gone, back to its home in 5 minutes. Here is what you do not realize until you do it. When you wake up the next morning and walk into a room that is already reset, something shifts before you have even had coffee. You do not start the day on the back foot, trying to undo yesterday before you can begin today. You start with a clear space, a blank canvas. The home is already on your side. The 1950s homemaker called this putting the house to bed. It was as automatic as locking the front door. The house does not go to sleep in disarray. You would not go to sleep in your coat. So why let the home go to sleep in the day's mess? 5 minutes, every night. This one habit will change your mornings more than almost anything else in this list. Number 14. Fold and put away, never the chair pile. Folded laundry that is not put away is not finished laundry. It is laundry in a different location. The chair pile, or the bed pile, or the sofa pile is one of the great domestic illusions. It feels like progress. The laundry is clean, it is folded, it is stacked. And then it sits there for 2 days while you take items off the top of it. And it slowly becomes a crumpled pile again, which means you did the folding for nothing. Folded goes straight to the drawer, to the wardrobe, to the shelf, immediately. The whole pile in one go, the moment the folding is done. It takes 2 minutes and the bedroom floor, or the chair, or wherever the pile tends to form, stays clear. The chair is not a wardrobe. Stop treating it like one. Number 15. The 1-minute kitchen night close. Last habit, the one that protects tomorrow morning more than any other single act. Before you leave the kitchen for the night, for good the final time, you do the close. It takes 60 seconds, possibly less. Wipe the hob. A quick pass, 30 seconds, catches whatever landed there during dinner. Dry the sink. A 10-second wipe with the dish towel. Hang the dish towel straight. Put the lid on the bin. Check nothing has been left on the counter that doesn't belong there. Turn off the light. That is the close. The kitchen is done. It is put to bed. Tomorrow morning, when you walk in half asleep looking for the kettle, you walk into order. A clear counter. A dry sink. A hob that doesn't need dealing with before you've had coffee. The morning feels different, easier, calmer, more manageable, because 60 seconds of effort the night before removed every obstacle from your path. The 1950s homemaker closed her kitchen every single evening, in the same way a shopkeeper closes their shop. The shutters go down, the surfaces are clear, the day is finished. Your home is not a space that runs itself. It needs closing. 60 seconds, every night, do the close. Here is what all 15 of these habits have in common. Not one of them requires a free afternoon. Not one of them asks you to restructure your day, buy a new system, or wait for the right moment to begin. Every single one of them is built on the same principle that the 1950s homemaker understood so instinctively. She probably could not have articulated it if you'd asked her. Do it now, while you're already there. You are at the sink. Wipe it. You are at the door. Hang the coat. You are leaving the room. Take something with you. You are already moving, already standing, already in the right place. The habit costs you 3 seconds, sometimes 10, occasionally 2 minutes. What it saves you is the slow accumulation of a home that feels perpetually behind. The kind of behind that sits in your chest on a Wednesday evening when you look around and think you need an entire weekend to fix it. You don't. You never did. You just need 15 habits, each under a minute, done consistently enough, that they stop feeling like habits and start feeling like the natural way you move through your home. That is the whole system. That is everything. The challenge. Start today. Here is what happens now, not this weekend, not when things calm down. Now. Pick 3 habits from this list, just 3, and write them on a Post-it. Stick it somewhere you will actually see it today. The bathroom mirror, the back of the front door, the kettle. 3 habits, visible, actionable, starting in the next hour. If you are not sure which 3 to pick, start here. Make the bed, do the doorway reset, and clear the surfaces before bed tonight. Those 3 alone will make your home feel different by tomorrow morning. Not perfect, not magazine ready, just noticeably, quietly better. And that feeling is what makes the next 3 habits easy to add. Come back and tell me in the comments which 3 you chose. I read every single one, and I want to know where you're starting. I know life is full right now. I know the home gets away from you sometimes. It gets away from all of us. But these habits exist because they work. They worked in 1955 and they work now. Because homes and the people who live in them have not fundamentally changed. We still need order to think clearly. We still feel the weight of a home that has drifted. We still feel the quiet relief of walking into a room that is already calm. These 15 habits give you that relief, not at the weekend, not after a deep clean, but daily. In the small moments, in the passing through. If this helped you today, subscribe. There are so many more of these habits, systems, and forgotten routines I want to share with you every week. Thank you for watching. Now go wipe that sink.